Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome to my WWE 205 live review. I am redoing this video because I had some technical difficulties, so I apologize for that. I don't know why, but I seem to get a lot of technical difficulties with this webcam lately. I'm hoping that it's not doing it now, but I'm here to give you my review of WWE 205 Live for December 20th, 2016. I know I'm a couple of weeks behind on it, but I've just been really busy, like I've talked about before, with finals, holidays, and everything. So I'm going to catch up on all these wrestling shows. And I have a big, day. I'm already behind because I didn't get up till 2 in the afternoon because I just was wiped from the holidays and everything. So I'm just going to review 205 Live. I've already seen this episode, but I didn't get a chance to review it, but I'm going to rewatch it and review it. And what I'm going to do is after each match and after each segment, I'm going to come on here and just give my thoughts on what I think about it. And then and that's how it's going to work. I'm going to watch it right off the network and everything. So that's going to be good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out my what's going on in 2017 and monthly update videos so you know what you're going to get for content on this channel. And yeah, let me just start off watching the episode. Okay, so we have Corey Graves, Mauro Ranallo, and Austin Aries on commentary for this show. We had the first match on the show. It was Ariya Daivari versus Lince Dorado. And this was actually a pretty good match. The crowd really didn't care about it. They were actually cheering for Austin Aries the whole match. Just the crowd doesn't really care about these cruiserweights, which I kind of feel bad for them because I really think the cruiserweights are doing a good job, like putting on good matches and stuff. It's just the crowd. I don't really blame them either because the WWE doesn't present the cruiserweights like they care about them. And this is kind of what's wrong with the show. It's just, it doesn't really feel like the cruiserweights are a big deal. But anyhow, this was a good match here. Ariya Daivari dominates the first half of it. He hits a leaping neckbreaker on Dorado. Then he hits a Heyman's clothesline, and he just dominates the matchup for a while. Then Lince Dorado starts to make his comeback. He hits a, I forget what it's called, but it was like a springboard stunner onto Daivari, which looked really pretty cool. He hits a torpe suicida on the outside, which looked like Lince Dorado got a little bad off it because he landed on his head really hard. He didn't really get the full move. And then he hits a crossbody coming to the ring, but Daivari kicks out of it. He hits a springboard hurricanrana, but Daivari kicks out of that. And then eventually he hits a step-up Itsuguri in the corner. He tries to do a hurricanrana off the top. Daivari pushes him off. And he ends up landing on his feet, but he gets two double boots to the face. And Daivari wins with a frog splash. And yeah, it was overall a good match, and I'm fine with Daivari going over. I like Lince Dorado better though, but Daivari I'm fine with going over because they're actually doing something with him. Though he's in a feud right now, so I'm actually fine with him going over. And after the match, he gets interviewed and he talks about he says something in Arab, and he talks about that's how you get it done in the ring. And he says that for all of you find Jack Gallagher entertaining. But he humiliates all of his opponents when he's in the ring with them, which is actually kind of true. He is nothing more, and he says that he's nothing more than a scoundrel. And I thought overall he kind of pretty good promo at the end, and I enjoyed this stuff. And then afterwards, Neville's backstage, and the Brian Kendrick comes up and he welcomes him to 205 Live, and he says that he's looking forward to being his partner and seeing what they can do together. But Neville cuts him off, saying that he respects his accomplishments, and they've performed, against people that are 300 pounds and a crowd that didn't respect them. But he said that tonight, there was only one true king of the cruiserweights, and after tonight, and I'm just gonna be your partner. I'm not your friend. I'm nothing else. And that was it. I really like the new Neville. It's just a different side of Neville that I've never seen before. I like the new Neville. He's malicious. And I'm going to talk about it more later on when I watch the match, because the main event's going to be a tag match. It's going to be Rich Swan and TJ Perkins versus the Brian Kendrick and Neville. So I'm going to talk about it when I get there. And then afterwards, it shows a video package for Tajiri announcing that he's coming to 205 Live, which I can't wait to see him come on there because that's going to be really cool. I can't wait to see Tajiri. He's a legend from ECW, and he's a former WWE superstar. So I can't wait to see him back. He had a really good showing in the Cruiserweight Classics. So I can't wait to see Tajiri back. So overall, this show has been pretty good so far. I'm sorry, I didn't press. Okay, so the next match was Cedric Alexander with Alicia Fox versus Drew Gulak. Overall, this was a solid match. Drew Gulak tosses Alexander throat first right into the ropes. I thought that looked cool. And then there's another spot where he just drives the knee right to the back of the head of Alexander. I thought that looked really cool as well. And then eventually Alexander starts to make a comeback. And he goes for, and Drew Gulak goes for a suplex, but Alexander blocks it. And Cedric Alexander ends up suplexing himself and Drew Gulak outside the ring. And then Drew Gulak shoves Cedric Alexander into Alicia Fox, which ends up inadvertently hurting her. So this distracts Cedric Alexander, but Gulak's able to take advantage and dominate the matchup. But he's stopping Cedric Alexander in the corner. And then Noam Dar comes out and helps Alicia Fox to the back, which is obviously going to be used to continue this feud. And Cedric Alexander sees this, and this distracts him, and Drew Gulak tries to roll him up for the win, but Cedric Alexander kicks out. And then Cedric Alexander hits the lumbar check on Gulak for the win. And that was it pretty much. I thought the finish was kind of dumb, that Cedric Alexander had all these distractions out there ringside, and he was still able to pull out the victory. I thought that was a little ridiculous. I think Drew Gulak should have won this match with the distractions, so I thought that was dumb. And afterwards, Drew Gulak gets interviewed, and he said that, that Alicia Fox shouldn't even be on 205 Live because this is a man's world, pretty much, and that was about it. And then it shows a video package for Jack Gallagher, pretty much the same one that it shows all the time. He talks about how gentlemanly he is, and he says that he looks at wrestling as a game of chess, and he says that he doesn't feel pressure because he competes to the best of his abilities, and some of the best of his abilities is the best in the world. So obviously this is hyping him up for his feud with Ariya Daivari. And then Alicia Fox is backstage, and and then Cedric Alexander comes up and checks on her and apologizes for running into her. And Noam Dar then says, and then she says, "Look, good thing Noam Dar was out here." And then Cedric Alexander says, "All right, thank you, but I got it from here." And then Noam Dar says, "Alicia, if you ever need anything, I'll be there for you." And then he leaves, and Cedric Alexander's all pissed off about it. So this is obviously used to help hype up that feud, a feud that I do not care about, which kind of sucks. I think Cedric Alexander deserves better than this, so that's why I think it's pretty bad that they're in this feud. And that was really all that happened. But overall, I thought this was all okay stuff. I like the match between Cedric Alexander and Cedric Alexander and Drew Gulak, but I just don't care about the storyline going on with Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander. But yeah, that's about it. Okay, so now we have the main event. It's Neville and the Brian Kendrick versus TJ Perkins and Swan. This was a really good main event. I really enjoyed it. Mainly because of Neville, because of the way he wrestles now. He wrestles like a methodical pace now. Like, he maliciously just picks apart his opponent, and I just love it. Like I said, I'm really loving the new Neville. He's probably the best thing that's going on in the Cruiserweight division right now, not gonna lie. There's other good things going on, like, with Swan, the whole feud with Jack Gallagher and Ariya Daivari I like, and then, there's other things I like, but this is just Neville just upped at the Cruiserweight division. So the beginning of the match, Neville just methodically picks apart Swan and just beats the crap out of him. He ends up hitting a drop kick right to the back of his head. He ends up hitting a wicked suplex on him. And eventually TJ Perkins has to tag himself in. He goes off the top rope, hits a crossbody, and just starts wailing away with rights and left hands right onto Neville. And then the Brian Kendrick tags himself in, and Perkins starts to get some offense going on Kendrick. And then eventually Swan tags himself in, goes off on the Brian Kendrick. And then Kendrick hits a flatliner on Swan. And then Neville comes in and hits a bridge suplex on Swan, but Swan kicks out of it. And Neville and Kendrick get the heat on Swan for a while. And eventually Swan hits a super kick on Neville. And then T.J. Perkins gets the hot tag on Kendrick. He hits the cross-face chicken wing into the knees to the chest. He hits the Dead Nation kick, but Kendrick kicks out of both moves. And then what else happens? Well, and then Perkins gets the knee ball in on Kendrick, but then Neville breaks it up with a drop kick right to the side of his head, and then which Swan tags himself in again, and starts going off on he starts going off on Neville. He hits a super kick on Kendrick. Well, he hits a super kick on I think Perkins hit the super kick on Neville, and then Perkins and Swan hit a double super kick on Kendrick, and T.J. Perkins goes for the drop kick while his opponent's outside the ring while he's on the apron, but Neville moves out of the way, hits a super kick while Perkins is on the apron, and then Kendrick hits the flatliner into the turnbuckle, and hits the slice bread number 2, and then he gets Swan into the captain's hook. And Perkins tries to break it up, but Neville's holding him back. But Perkins is able to kick Neville off, and he ends up breaking up the submission move. And then T.J. Perkins tags himself in again. He goes for a crossbody on Neville, but Neville counters into a step-up enziguri. And then Kendrick hits a torpe suicida on the outside on Perkins. And then Neville hits the red arrow on T.J. Perkins for the win. And Neville and the Brian Kendrick go over. I thought this was a really good match. Obviously, the white team won because he needed to have Neville look strong since he just turned heel. And he needed to validate his heel turn. And I'm just loving the new Neville. Neville looked really strong out here. And I thought that was really good. And yeah, I thought this was a really good match. Okay, so overall, I thought this episode of WWE 205 Live was actually a pretty good episode. I actually enjoyed it. I thought the opening match with Ariya Daivari and Lince Dorado was good, and I thought even though I don't care about the storyline between Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar, I did like his match he had with Cedric Alexander had with Drew Gulak, and I thought the main event was a really good match. I still kind of don't care about this show as much as I should, but I definitely enjoyed it. I think this has been the best episode that they've done so far. And I think Neville being in the Cruiserweight division now makes me care about it a little bit more. I always cared about it, but I think WWE feels like it's putting a little bit more emphasis on it by having this new side of Neville. And I think the fans care about it a little bit more now, too, because Neville's a known name. He's been on the main roster for a while. So I actually enjoyed 205 Live. I actually enjoyed it, you know. I know, since I watched the Cruiserweight Classics, I know everybody in the Cruiserweight division, but not a lot of people do. The only ones they probably know are Kendrick, and, you know, it's probably about it. Not really as much TJ Perkins. But now that Neville's in the Cruiserweight division, that ups the Cruiserweight division, in my opinion. So, overall, I enjoyed this episode of WWE 205 Live. So, make sure you can subscribe to my channel and subscribe to all the other channels down below. And I will be back to give you a video in a couple minutes.